Okay, so welcome to the audio modding video guide. I'm going to show you how to do audio modding. So the first things you need to know about a few tools. First is DRG Packer, and if you've never used DRG Packer, then you need to read this basic modding guide in the Guides and Tools channel in the Discord. All the links will be in the description. You also need fmodel and empty content hierarchy, which you can find in this modding tool zip, and also the audio modding template, which is here, and I'll put the link in the description. And finally, you definitely need Unreal Engine 4.27.2 is the most recent version the game is on, so you need this specific version, and you can get this from Unreal Engine, the Epic Games Store. So there are two types of audio mods. There's editing like the cue files, so you can add new sounds, and then you can have logic sort of inside of them as well, and this gives you more kind of control over what you're doing, and you can have multiple sounds mixed together, and you can have like random and all that stuff. We'll get into that. There's also a more direct thing where you just directly replace the audio files. However, you still need Unreal Engine for this because, well, you'll see later on. The audio files that you replace with for both methods, you're going to need either .wav or .ogg file formats. If it's neither of those, it's not going to work. I recommend using .ogg because usually it sounds the same in the game anyway, and ogg is like roughly 4 times smaller than wav, and of course people are going to want to have the smallest download possible for your mods, especially if it's a really big mod. There is a bit more messing around you might have to do with .ogg, but generally I definitely recommend using that over .wav. So the first main thing to look at is using this template. So we put together this nice template project so that you can just sort of download it and get started immediately. So there's two branches, as we can see here. There's a main branch, which is what I recommend people to use as their actual project. So this has everything in it for sound control, which is basically stuff. Well, we'll get onto that again when we come into the replacing cues method. And then there's all assets, which is say all the cues and the waves as well. So let's say we go to music and we go to boss, whatever, there's all the cues in here and the actual audio files. So yeah, you can change the branch by hitting this, and you don't need to be logged in to do this, so you don't need to have a GitHub account or anything. And so now what you want to do is you want to go and download both versions. You can just hit this green code button and then hit download zip. You can also do it the normal way if you've used Git before. So I've already downloaded them. So I've got here sort of the two things, and I've already unzipped them into this folder. Firstly, I'll just show you main. So here's main. You won't have all of these build files, so you won't have like any of this stuff here when you unzip it, because it's a big lot of files, and you don't need them when you store them in GitHub. And what you can do is you can just double click this fsd.e project, and it will open the project. Now you can see in the difference of them, all assets again has all the actual assets in them, and again with main we can just see there's sort of not much in here. Let me just open up main because we're going to make our first mod in this. So the first thing we need to do here is we need to unpack the empty content hierarchy into our folder, because it kind of makes it nice and easy for us to like navigate the files, because as you can see there's only this stuff, and we want to make stuff in like the music folder or the SFX folder or whatever, and instead of having to go through and make them manually based off the unpacked files, we can just pull in the assets from empty content hierarchy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show again the wrong one. And you can see here I've downloaded is the basic tools, his empty content hierarchy. So we're just going to open this up and navigate through to content. We don't need all of this other stuff. We can just go audio, and then what we can do is we can go content, audio, yep, and then you just want to copy in basically characters, music, and SFX. because this is where all the actual cues and audio files and stuff are. So we can just drag it in here or whatever. However you do it, just depends person to person. I like to do it via WinRAR. Okay, so you can see here that we have got sort of like a folders and inside everything, so we have to make anything manually. Obviously when you pack, this doesn't matter because they're just folders. And we're going to make a custom sounds folder out here. It doesn't matter what you call it, doesn't matter where you put it, but it's just going to be like just out here, because it doesn't like conflict with any other files and paths inside the actual game itself. We don't want to accidentally replace anything. And this is going to store your your audio that you're going to add, that you're going to replace in either of the methods. So this is going to be a very useful folder. We can also use this here. So to make things sort of easy, I'm just going to go through the same sort of examples that are in the written guide, because some people kind of go through the written guide, they're like, oh, I don't really understand what you mean here, and yeah, I know. I try to write it as well as I can, but sometimes it's kind of hard to write down what the process is properly. So just showing it, using, demoing it myself makes things nice and easy. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to replace the impact axe sound. This is going to be obviously a cue replacement sound. So first we need to find where the impact axe sound is. So if I switch back to this monitor, and we're going to look through the unpacked files. So I know it's going to be an audio, and then impact axe is probably SFX, and then it's a weapons, it's some weapons and tools. You have to be when you're looking for something, you have to kind of think about what sort of thing it is. Luckily, the DRG devs sort of do, they do like organize things well. Some games really do not. So you have axe grenade, and then we have like the impact axe. There's the fold out, which is like the throwing sound. There's the pickup when you actually pick it up. And then you can see here there's like folders, and each of these is actually like the actual audio assets that are used on these cues. So if we go to the same location inside of UE, we can see we have, so there's SFX, weapons and tools, and then it was like items or grenades, and then X grenade, and then here we go, here's the location. First thing we're going to do is we actually need to import the sound into our replacement sound into here, the custom sounds folder. So I'm just going to quickly grab that. Now I've got my audio, I'm going to import it into this custom sounds folder. So we click this add/import button, and we import into the thing. Go to mods, testing, this, audio, and we've got a few different things. I want to just bring in these two for now. Yeah. Then yeah, you can do whatever. I'm just gonna save. Give it a little start. It's annoying, and we can see that we've got some audio in here. Now these are WAVs. You can use OGG again. Doesn't really matter. Now we need to make the cue files. So let's go back down to where it was, which is here. So we know what the names of the cues files are from looking at the unpacked files. Again, we can see here that the names, the fold out, like the throwing sound, is this. So actually I'm going to show you what I do. Hit F2, and then Control C, then escape, and then go into here, and then make, if I hide this, and then make a sound cue, and then Control V, and it's just the name is right there because I just copied it. So I'm going to open up this, and the first thing you want to do, the only thing that you really need to do first off is dragging in a wave player, and now you can select the audio that you've imported. So we're just going to do Cry of Pain, and boom, you're done. That's it. But no, it's not really it. So the next step is importing, selecting a sound class or an attenuation and also a submix, because we're replacing these cues with the ones in the games that have these classes set, and these control all sorts of things. So attenuation is like what the pitch and the volume is based on like what location and rotation the player is at. So you know, when something is far away, it might sound quieter than, you know, if it's like the source of it is close by. Yeah, and then submix is basically controlling the game volume sliders essentially. So it's very important to set this, because otherwise people change their audio things, and your cue is going to sound the exact same volume as it did before, which, you know, isn't ideal at all. So what we need to do is we need to use fmodel, which I showed before. So let me get fmodel open. Now you can set it to like certain directory. So I set it to the packs folder of like your Steam install of Galactic, which is where the games like the unpack the folder is. So if we get this open and then we navigate to audio, SFX, weapons and tools, item grenades, axe grenade. You can see you can't actually see the assets, so you have to click on the folder and then go to this tab. It's a bit confusing. So now we've selected the fold out queue asset. You can see there's all sorts of things in here, but the things we really care about are these. So we have the sound class name, the attenuation setting name, and the submix name. So we can see that first the sound class is called Explosion Manual Mix. So if I go to Explosion Manual Mix, and then we have the attenuation, which is called distant wide something or other. Just search distant wide misc attenuation, that's what it's called. And then the base submix is general weapons tools. General's weapons tools. There we go. So now this is our queue, it's all done. So we need to essentially package it. So the way we package is we use DRG Packer. But first, you actually need to go to package project and then this. But first, even before that again, is we need to check the package settings. So firstly, use pack file needs to be off. All of these settings need to be off. There's also a really nice kind of setting down here called directories to never cook. Now this is really important. So you can see here, well, when you import it from the audio template, this will already be set probably. And it's called the sound control folder, so we select audio sound control. Now this is all of the sound classes, the attenuation settings and the submixes and all that sort of stuff. Obviously we don't want to like pack these into the game because it will cause problems. And then also if you have, like, let's say you've got two mods, right, in the same project. You've got one that replaces some dwarf character voice lines or whatever. You can say, oh, I wanna like not cook that, but I do want to cook the I want to cook my music mod, which is changing some music stuff. And then if you want to go deeper, like I changed Jukebox stuff, and I want to pack only the boss thing, so I can say, oh, I don't want to pack the Jukebox stuff anyway. Oops, I keep hitting the wrong thing. Okay, so now that we've made sure our settings are correct, we need to go to package project, Windows 64-bit, and now I'm just going to select this folder, and I'm going to package to it. The first time that you load up Unreal Engine, or a new version of Unreal Engine, there might be like compiling 6,000 shaders or something like that. You only have to do that once. Once it's finished, it's done. It shouldn't take too long. And then once it's done that, it's all in cache, so you shouldn't ever need to do it again. So you can see package complete, and then if I now show this monitor, we can see that Windows Note has appeared. FSD, content, and we can see our custom sounds, our like sound effects, and also this stuff here. So what we need to do is we need to go to DRG Packer, and we need to pack this stuff. So we copy just the content folder, and then we go into our input folder in DRG Packer. Should know how to use this again. And I've actually named it _p because it needs to be called that. So whatever your input folder is called. So anyway, you just drag it into repack.bat, and then yep, it's done. We got the pack file, and now I'm just gonna drag it into the game. So let's test it in the game. So it's gonna want to load us into modded Sandbox because it's it's locally loaded, and it will say inside of the mod menu, it will say depreciated. So I go to modding. We say down here depreciated. This is the name of the pack, and this is our mod that's loaded. So I'll quickly cut to when I'm in a mission. Okay, so we're in a mission, and now I'm gonna test it. So it's really quiet. I don't think you can probably even hear it. Hang on, I'm gonna turn up the desktop audio significantly. So yeah, you can hear it's really quiet. You might not even be able to hear it still. Yeah, so what we need to do is we need to go back into our project, and we need to make it louder. So we need to go into the queue, and that was like really quiet, so I'm probably going to crank up to like 3, the volume multiplier, and that's what you need to do, just change it here. And then we're going to go through and we're going to repackage it, and I'm going to make yeah, there we go. So delete this, select folder, repackage, and I'll cut back to when I'm in the game again. Okay, so I'm going to take the opportunity to show you like a really quick nice mod for testing. So we're going to just select a random mission, solo, yep, and then instead of being a scrub and waiting, we just start selected mission using this lovely mod by Assembly called Sandbox Utilities. And it's really nice because I know there's one mod that I'm currently working on which requires you to get to the end of the mission. I don't want to play through the mission every time I want to test it, so you can actually just spawn a drop pod immediately using this mod. Okay, so loading the mission, I'm going to turn up the volume a fair bit, so hopefully it shouldn't be too loud. And now I'm going to test it. So yeah, it's significantly louder. We did increase it by like 3.5 times or something. We can see if we vote. Wait, let's just wait for the drop pod to exit. It's quite loud. Yeah, so if we throw it really far away, or if we throw it closely, it's like the attenuation changes, but it's based on like the previous sound. The attenuation is based off the sound like in the actual game itself. So if the attenuation sounds a bit weird for whatever audio you're replacing it with, you can go and change it. So I will show you quickly how to do that. So in your queue, you can instead of selecting on here, you can hit that, and then you do override attenuation, and then you have all of these new settings you can play with. And it's just, there's a lot of testing. In the written guide, there is like certain attenuation settings you do need to have, like the memorial hall. It's a bit weird, but you need to use certain things. And yeah, it's like kind of optimal to what you're using it for. But yeah, just like it's a lot of playing around basically. Yeah. And of course you can select other ones if you want, so if you think another weapon's attenuation might be more suited towards your weapon, your audio one, then you can change it. There's like nothing stopping you. Another thing to mention is you can also play the queue in editor. However, don't expect it to be the same like audio level as in the game itself, because when you pack the audio and everything, it does end up sounding like slightly different in terms of like the volume and all that, and obviously you can't test attenuation in like this, it's just always going to be the same. You could technically load it into a level, I guess, but that just seems like too much work. So yeah, you can do this. Now, we're gonna go to the next more complicated one. So we're gonna add new boss music with custom tracks. So this is more of a this isn't really a repeat of it of what we just did, because this mod will add new audio on top of the vanilla ones. So we basically still need to, instead of completely replacing, we need to get references to the vanilla tracks in the game and then keep those in our queue essentially. So if you're wanting to add stuff instead of just replacing, but this will show you some other stuff anyway. So now I'm going to use some assets from the All Assets branch of the modding template, because what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy in the existing cues from that, which will have like all of this stuff already like pre-referenced. So I'd have to do it manually essentially. What I have to do first is close UE, and I'll show you my other monitor again. So what I need to do is I need to get the all assets, like the cues from the all assets branch, and copy into this main. So go content, audio, music, and then it's just the boss stuff. So I'm just going to copy and paste it in. So just go, oh, wrong one. Into main, content, audio, music, boss. Yeah. So I'm just going to delete boss basically, and then I'm just going to do this. There we go. So they should be in there. Yep. And also what I need to do is copy in our like other audio, so this stuff, into custom sounds. Right, and that should just work. If it doesn't, again, just use the green. Just use that green add/import button in UE. So now we reopen UE. That was the one I was working in. Yes. I have a lot of projects called FSD for obvious reasons. Now you can obviously make your own project. It has to be called FSD. But yeah, and then just import stuff. So you click import down there and it'll just import the assets. So if I go to music, boss, we've now got the cues, and you can see they've already got stuff in them, like we can see here. Attenuation, obviously music doesn't need it because it's global. You can hear it no matter where you're looking or where you are in the world. And then we've also got the audio files, which are empty. Obviously we're not gonna generate the actual sound waves because they would be massive. But we don't need that. So what these are here are just for reference inside our cues. You can see this is referencing this file. So what we're going to do with this is we're just going to basically add stuff. So there's a lovely node called random. So we're going to bring that in random, and you can hold Alt and click on a pin, and it will delete the line. So I can drag it. We need to add a few more inputs as well, so bring the output out. And now we need to basically make a few more of these looping wave players. So you can see they're looping because they're set to looping, because music is looping, obviously. And I think we've got a few. So there's a couple of methods. What you could do is, like, as you can see, this one cue has one sound. Now the reason the devs do this is because it means there's parity between all of the all the players in the game. They'll hear the exact same song. Because if there's a random node inside of a queue, it's client side, like selecting which one is which one is outputted essentially through the random node. But playing cues like from Blueprint code or C++ or whatever doesn't have to be client side. It can be replicated from the server. It's all very complicated, but essentially one cue per sound is what the devs do to enable sound parity. But since we have we have 4 sounds we want to put in, and we also need to we're adding them on top of things, we have to use a random node. There's no way to get around it. You can't just make new cues because, well, like, they just won't get loaded by the game. So that's just not going to work. So what we do is we just add these to here. So we have the 3 first that the game like has already. So we have instead of nightmares, and we have like Stalker Master. Yep, I'm a bit of a. There we go. And then we need like the ones that I can't remember if these are, yeah. So I'll just make a couple more, and then I'll just drag these in. Judgment, and then we have a Sea of Laments, and then Invocation. And again, if you play the cue, one is like playing. Obviously, if it selects this one, they're empty, it won't play anything. And then when we do play one that actually has stuff, it will actually like play them. And then, yeah, again, you can see they will have their classes in, and the volume multiplayer is set to this. We're basically done with this now. So what we need to do is copy all of this stuff into each of these cues. And again, I have all the same settings, so we just need to open Stalker Cue, then bring this out. There we go. Yeah, so the next bit is really important, because if we pack these audio files with our mod, they'll replace the ones in the game itself, and of course these have nothing in them, so if these are selected to be played during a boss fight, you won't hear anything, it'll just be blank sound. So go to Package Project, Package Settings, I showed you this earlier, Directories Never Cook, and we need to select these audio files folder so they don't pack these. We also need to select those impact decks, that mod, for example, that we've made or whatever. We could just like say I don't want to do SFX, but I want to be specific. I want to say Axe Grenade. So yeah, now when we pack, it shouldn't pack any of the stuff we don't want, basically. And I'll just show you. These are obviously like just normal songs. I can't really play them for very long because I'll probably get funny copyright striked or whatever, but these songs, if you're interested, is from the Last Spell OST and the Hell is Other Demons OST as well. They're really good songs. So anyway, I'll cut to when I'm testing them in-game. Okay, so I'm here in the mission, and I'm gonna pop the first egg and hope that I get one of the new tracks. If I get one of the game's vanilla tracks, we've also shown that that works. Yep, we got one of the new tracks. And now I'm gonna kill it, and I'm going to cut to starting the new one to test, you know, just in case it's a fluke or something that this is the right one. Okay, so we're at the next egg. I'm gonna pop this one and see what happens. Yeah, so now here's just a default vanilla track. You can hear it playing, maybe you can't, it's quite quiet. I'll just turn up the... There we go, it just plays on the menu. So yeah, we can see that it's been pretty successful, to be honest. You can also do volume control on individual stuff. So if you think something is a bit quiet, what you can do is you can say, I think this is a bit loud. You can double click on the asset, and then you can go to volume and you can change it, so you can reduce it a bit or whatever. And yeah, that's pretty much like the same. You can also do this, where you go out and you go modulator, and this also has like its own like minimum, maximum, like volumes, whatever. So yeah, it's just kind of basic volume control sort of stuff. Okay, so the next example we're going to go through is it's going to be replacing the sound files directly method. Now, one great example for doing this is Jukebox audio, because you know, there are no cues for it, so you have to do direct replacement. So I'm going to go to the Jukebox, so it's here, and then Jukebox, and then I'm going to replace the no copyright music. So there's this folder called TRJ music. This is all the no copyright music, and I'm going to import stuff into here. So I've just got these ones, and I've already named them the correct names because I can't be bothered to go through and you have to name these the same as they are in the game. In fact, I'll show you. Audio, music, Jukebox, TRJ music, packages. They're the same names as these, so they have to be called the same stuff. And yeah, if you just save all. So now what we have to do is package this, and then it will work. So now I'm gonna go to project settings, and I want to remove the boss music mod from packing. And another thing is, since we're replacing the audio directly here, we're not using any music from the custom sounds, what we can do is we can just straight up ignore the custom sounds folder, and that will make the size of your mod smaller, and again allows you to make multiple mods in the same project, so you don't need a bunch of different projects called FSD. They're all like different mods and such. And another thing is, again, for earlier things, is here's like 3 different mods right here. So you can make a different folder for each one. You could say boss stuff, and then you put stuff in there, and then you just ignore that one, and you ignore whatever. It's just makes things easier, basically. So now I'll package, and I'll come back when I'm ready to test it in the game. So now I'm gonna test it in the game. And you can hear, oh no, it's like the normal music. What's going on? Well, you gotta remember, you gotta set up your environment correctly. So we actually need to go here and enable streamer mode. And now it's playing properly. You can hear it's the fat rat music. And yeah, this mod works. So on to the next one, pretty much. So this next one, we're gonna replace the impact X sound effect with the bonk effect. This bonk one. It's actually the same one I have again. Bonk, for my impact X mod. So we know where it is. It's inside SFX, weapons and tools, grenades, impacts grenade, and then the thing where we can find it inside here. Impact. Okay, so now we've gone to the impact, the grenade, the impact sound. You can see there's 10 different ones, right? So usually when there's a bunch of different versions, usually there are slight variations in the sound itself, make it a bit more interesting. Doesn't always sound exactly the same. But we're just going to replace it with one because we're lazy, and we just want one sound. Doesn't really matter. So we just basically take our one audio and we just replace it for all 10 of these. So our audio is here, bonk sound effect. So yeah, I'm just gonna duplicate that, whatever, and then I'm going to put it into the impact combine. Move here. Yeah, and now I have to rename this to axe grenade combined 01, and then I have to copy and paste it a bunch of times, 10 times in fact. But it's really annoying because, yeah, I need to also do this. And for quick rename, by the way, I'm hitting F2. That's a pretty like Windows wide rename thing, rename folders, whatever. Same with Control N, or Control Shift N, my bad, for making folders. There we go, that's all 10 files. So yeah, let's just save that. And they'll do the same, whatever, and you can again change like the audio in here. So yeah, I'm gonna package this. So I need to first select my Jukebox mod. I also want to have this in here. Delete that, because again, like, here's like the folders in. I also want this in here, like in the mod, because it'd be more interesting, right? So yeah, let's go to package project, 64-bit, and I'll go through and I'll cut to when I'm in the game and I'll test it. Okay, so I'm here to test. Let's see what happens. Oh, and I made a mistake, so I'm going to deliberately not edit this out. So as you can hear, the actual fold out, like the fold out cue that we've like left in replacing, isn't playing anything, and the reason is because back in UE, in project settings, I've still had this like not package. So and this has like the fold out sound in it. So of course we're just replacing it with nothing. Or we're getting a reference to nothing. So you can see here that you're getting no sound. And if you want to like replace completely remove a sound from a game, that's what you can do, right? You can just reference nothing in your replace cue, or you can make an empty sound wave and use that instead. But for the bonk stuff, you can hear that it's sort of, and if I turn around when I do it, you could hear that it's like behind me in the sound because of the attenuation. So anyway, yeah, that's basically the mod. Okay. Also, I want to add that if you open the All Assets project, and you just open any old queue, like the grappling hook queue that's just in this folder for some reason, you can see that queues are really complicated. So one thing, if you're like making a complicated audio mod, or you're replacing like a queue and your sound is coming out really weird or something, what you can do is use the Reconstructed Cue Graph from the All Assets branch and see exactly how this queue is working, because you actually could do that before. So if I went into just like audio into here, all the data is here, but it's really hard to reconstruct it. It's just a lot of time to reconstruct it and see what's going on. But in this view, we can see exactly this is what's happening, using all these different sort of sounds and mixing them together, and you can look up all this stuff on the docs. So yeah, that's just another thing I wanted to add. So if you're doing like music, there's a music breakdown that Kraves did, and it's the end of the guide. There's some other bits, like extra notes, like tidbits of information. And also, like, if you just need help on stuff, go to mod questions and ask. And you know, there's all like these threads that we have, so we have all these threads like from all the time, like all these different audio questions or whatever. Just like ask and someone will be happy to help you. So yeah, I hope you found this useful, and I look forward to seeing all the mods you guys make.